Hello, good morning. Can you hear me all right? Ito na lang ning kanta-kantahan natong mga problema, no? Or sa kanta pas Pilipinas, you know, like the one of the Philippine song says, tawanan mo na lang daw yung problema. Tawanan mo ang iyong problema. Dapat your problem na lang daw. Asa po niya itong mga kakilayan kay mo kuhan po musimang atong mga kilay po kay musimang nasa na gina itong mga kilayan kay musimang gyud. I'm on the road again. You know, we're going to the beach in a little bit and show you what's there on the beach. Beach. Beach there. Kukuya kay na itong mga kilay ani kay musimang ano kang musimang ning mga itong mga kilay ani kay musimang gid siya. Kasulay na mo nang iyong mga kilay musimang. Yung kilay ba musimang? Ay nako, to na lang ikatawa ng itong mga problema kay lisod jud kayo ating mga problema. Hindi natin na ikatawa itong mga problema. Pilit yun ang problema sa itong mga naong. Pilit ang mga problema sa naong. Hindi mo ikatawa na imong problema. Lisod na mo pilit ang problema sa naong.
Now by calling 844-711-8800 or head over to SiriusXM.com to sign up quickly. You deserve the best.
Tingog yun yung akong kwan ba? Okay, good. So, let's drive around. Hasan ni ako ang kwan. Me, I'm Ubering. You know, I Uber. And sometimes I Lyft. You know, there's two platform gig here. If doing and working on being a driver, you know. Working like a driver. So sometimes I Uber and sometimes I Lyft. That's their two at least popular, you know, gig. Driver is, you know, mag-drive, mag-take of passengers. And that's my work. Magtrabaho tani kay di ta manarbaho watay kwartahon. Kung di ta manarbaho watay kwartahon. Sa manarbaho gyud ta, di ba? We need to work. May labi na nga we're in this country where everybody works. You know, I'm in this country where everybody works. Asa naman ni Dapita? Is this going? Or is it a right turn? Is this a right turn lane or what? So, hasa ni ako ang Uber app. You know, kaya ang Uber, they have their own app. Uber has their own app, and Lyft, Lyft. That's another driver gig or drive gig. Uber has its own app and Lyft has its own app. But the problem is that's what I'm working now. That's what I'm doing now. I'm using Lyft drive gig, you know, driver. I sometimes use Uber, but for now I'm using Lyft. So I'm driving around to get rides. But there's a problem on my app. What's the problem? It seems like someone has been controlling my app. That's why I don't get rides. I don't get rides. And if I get rides, it's like it's being controlled bita. Not the Lyft. Not the Lyft. Dili ang Lyft nga organization or business, not the Lyft business that's doing that. I think it's something else. It's doing that. Now, controlling my app. Because I should earn more. I should earn more, but sometimes it's not doing that. It's not doing that. So I'm here today. We'll see what rides I get. And yeah, some drivers are crazy. Some drivers are crazy. But anyway, we're on live. So, you're gonna hear me, anything and everything here. Anything I'll say, whatever I'm speaking and talking, yeah, I will. But I'm telling you right now, when people see me, you know, when people see me, they spit. They spit. Mostly black people spit. Well, I did not come here in the US to save black people, because there's nothing to save for black people. I did not come here in the US to save black people. That's for one thing. Oh, good. I got one. Well, I did not come back here in the US to save black people, because there's nothing to save black people. That's your life. Deal with it. Just like I am dealing with my life. If you think you're brave, show it. If you think you're weak, show it. Show it to the world. But I did not come back here in the US to save people. To save black people. Live your life. Because I'm living my life. Deal with it. Because I'm dealing with my life too. I came here in the US because I was a wife of a US citizen. Nothing more, nothing less. I did not come back here in the US I did not come back here in the US to ask for help. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a problem. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a problem. Well, we all have problem anyway. We all have problem one way or another. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what problem I have that I should ask for help. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I did not come back here in the US because I have a problem to solve. You know? I didn't come back here in the US because I have a problem to solve that the US government has to solve. I don't have that problem. I came here in the US. I came here in the US because I was a wife and a widow of a US citizen. That's the main thing, and that's the main reason, that's the main thing why I'm back here in the US. Neither I did not marry my husband because I asked for help. Because if you talk about help, I don't even know what kind of help I'm going to ask. You know? I don't even know what kind of problem I'm going to ask. If that's the thing. If that's the thing. Because I don't even know what kind of help I'm going to ask. Why? Because I don't even know what my problem. If people believe that I have a problem, I don't even know what problem I have. If there are people out there who thinks that I have a problem, well, I guess they know my problem than me. Because I don't know what my problem is. And I don't even know what kind of help I'm going to ask to help that problem, the problem that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? And there's whenever they see me, whenever they see me, whenever they look at me, they spit. It's like, yeah, who are you? Yeah, you're right. Who am I? And who do you think I am? I did not came here in the US to save black people. I mean, who the hell are you anyway for me to save? I'm not your savior. I did not come back here to save black people. I mean, hey, deal your problem. People, all over the world, they deal their own problem. So you deal yours problem, whatever problem you have anyway. Because no one can change you being black people. Neither no one can change me being Filipina. Neither no one can change you being white. Okay? No one can change anybody. Your skin color, no one can change that. So whatever problem you have, deal with it. Because everybody deal their own problem. Okay, me too. So I did not come back here in the US because to ask for help because I need help. No, I did not come back in the US. Neither I marry my husband. I did not marry a US citizen to ask for help. Why would I marry a US citizen to ask for help? And what kind of help I'm asking anyway? If I only have a problem, I don't even know what kind of problem I have. We all have problem, I know, but one way or another, we all have problem, and we have different problem. You have a different problem. Black people have different problem. White people have different problem. Filipino people have different problem. We all have different problems, and we deal that problem, right? But as far as I'm concerned, since I am talking now, I don't even know what kind of problem I have that I should ask for help. And I don't even know what kind of help I'm going to ask if I have a problem. The fact that I don't even know what problem I have. And if there are people out there who thinks I have a problem, who thinks that I'm back here in the US to ask for help, well, I guess they know my problem better than me. And that's something I don't even know. That's something I don't even know. Yeah, I'm aware of what's going on around, but I don't even have a knowledge, not even a permission, none of it. Nobody said a thing to me. Nobody asked me any permission. No, I don't have any knowledge of what's going on around. Yes, I'm aware. But do I have any knowledge of what's going on around? No. Does anybody ask me permission about anything? No. Nobody. Okay? Nobody. And I don't even know who the hell those people are. If there are those people. if there are people out there anyway. I don't even know. But one thing I know for sure, that I'm back here in the US. I'm back here in the US because I was a widow of a US citizen. And that's the main reason why I'm here. Why I'm back here, because in the Philippines, I have nothing. When my husband and I went back to US in 2004, 2005, okay? That was after the Twin Tower in New York, you know. That was after the collapse of the Twin Tower in New York. I think 2 years later or 3 years later, me and my husband, first husband, that was Mr. Dan Kilty, we went back to Philippines. Because, like I said, I don't even know what's going on, you know. I can sense it, and I'm still aware, but that's just because I'm aware doesn't mean I have knowledge any of what's going on. No, nobody talked to me. Nobody made an agreement with me. Nobody came to me. Nobody. I don't have any knowledge about what's going on. Nothing, not a bit. I'm aware, but there's a difference between you have knowledge and someone asks you permission and you made an agreement. There's a difference between that and being aware. Okay? And yeah, I'm aware, but do I know what's going on out there? What those people are this and that? No. If there are those people. But I have no idea. I don't even know what those people are talking about anything or what. Nothing. I'm aware of it, but there's a difference of being aware than you have a knowledge, you have someone ask you permission, and you made an agreement. There's a difference with that. And none of it. There's none of it. So, I don't know what else to say about that. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm back here in the US because I was a wife and a widow of a U.S. citizen. And when we went back to Philippines, yeah, my first husband, he had pension. Yeah, he was receiving pension. And was good enough. Yeah, his pension was good enough for both of us. And we get to roam around. But there was a time that even me and my first husband, we got separated. Yeah, me and my first husband, when we went back to Philippines, we also got separated. Gabulag-bulag pun ming duha ba? Gabulag-bulag pun mi kay, when you sense something that is not right and you don't understand what's going on, you don't know what to do. So sometimes me and my husband, we get, sometimes we magbulag-bulag pun mi, sometimes we separate ways, and then we get back and separate ways and get back and separate ways and get back, that kind of situation sometimes, that kind of problem sometimes. We separate, we get back again, we get back together, and that's what had happened between me and my first husband when we were in the Philippines. Because you don't know what's going on. When you don't understand what's going on, of course, you don't know what to do. And so you just want to go away, do your thing. And that's what had happened between me and my first husband. I'm glad he was okay with it, fine with it. And I was doing my thing and he was doing his things. So then when we get back together, then we're at peace again. But I came here in the US because I was a widow to a US citizen. And that's the main reason why I'm here. And when we were there, me and my first husband did not put up any business. We had a business, I registered for a business, but we didn't make it grow. We started a business of, like agricultural products, fertilizers, something like that. Yeah. I register a business that kind of business. But nothing happens to it. Because why agriculture? Why agriculture? And but anyway, yeah, and that didn't happen. That didn't grow. But after all that, we just keep moving with our lives. And yes, he has pension. It was good enough for both of us. But when you don't understand, when you don't know, if I think back, sometimes I say to myself, Melinda, you don't have to understand everything. Yeah, that's right. If I think what happened in the past, if I look back what happened in the past and everything I did, I always tell myself, Melinda, you don't have to understand everything. You could have done that and you could have done this. because you don't have to understand everything. Yeah, right. Yes, I talk to myself. Yeah, right. I don't have to understand everything. You're right. That's why even until now, I don't have to understand everything. Even until now, I don't have to understand everything. Neither I understand what people are doing either. Or, I don't have to understand. Even until now, I don't have to understand everything. I'm just doing my thing like everybody else. I'm just doing my thing like everybody else. Nothing else. I'm not even a savior to everybody else. So if you're black out there, deal your problem. Because I'm dealing my problem. I did not come back here in the U.S. to say whatever. No, I'm here because I was a widow of a U.S. citizen. I was a widow. So I'm glad that since we don't have anything put up like a business and we could have had a house, yep, there was two instances that we could have a house. There were two instances that we could have a house. The first one, we rented this house for I guess 4 years. But during those 4 years, the owner of the house wanted to sell. He was selling the house, but nobody bought it. Nobody interested to buy it yet. And wala pa nipalit ba? Nobody buys it yet. But he was selling it while we're renting it. And when we found out that that's what he was doing, so we went to talk to the owner. Hey, we will buy the house, and would you agree that we will pay this and that so much a month since we've been there for 4 years, okay? We've been living in that house for 4 years. And then when we found out that he was selling the house, so we negotiate how much are we going to pay and what we're going to pay. And how are we going to pay the house? We negotiate. But he didn't accept it. He didn't took it. And we've been living in the house for 4 years, huh? We've been living in the house for 4 years. And when we found out that he's selling it, we rented the house for 4 years. And when he was, when we found out that he was selling it, so we tried to negotiate the fact that we've been living in the house for 4 years. But the owner didn't took it. The owner didn't took it. So the following year, I guess, or in that same year, a few months later, someone buy the house, cash. So he wants cash. He didn't accept our offer like a monthly payment of, like a monthly payment of so much. He didn't agree with it. So the house was bought by someone else. And so we move again. The second instance was when he had a friend. My first husband had a friend who lives in a, we call it subdivision. In my country, we call it subdivision. And here you call it, one of those houses in a like a compound, like a compound. Those houses, like a subdivision houses. He had a friend, and she wanted to sell, her house. Well, she wanted to sell her house. I think that was for assume. That was for assume. assume. Therefore, assume where you pay off, gani, where you pay off the debt, where you pay off how much she's been paying of that house, and you pay it off yourself, and then you can own the house, something like that. Assume. I think that's assume. And I don't know what happened there, but we disagree. I disagree. We didn't get the house. See, that's lift. I'm glad they're taking it. But yeah, we didn't get the house. So those are the two instances that we could have a house. And we were not able to get it. We didn't get it. We were not able to get it, and we didn't get it. And since I don't have any of that in the Philippines, since we didn't put up a business, nothing happens on the business, and nothing happens on the business, and we didn't have a house. If I had a house there, well, you live in the house. Well, we didn't. And then I went to school because maybe I could still have work, because in my country, you need to go to school so you can work like more on a professional kind of work, But so I went to work. I went to school, not work. I mean school, and I studied education. Education. That's so I studied education. And I wasn't able to graduate. I was only there for 2.5 years. I think that was 2.5 years. Graduation. And in October of 2019. In that year, in 2019, I was, we were planning to come back here. But I don't know what happened. It's like my mind, or maybe I just didn't know. Maybe that was it. But anyway, when we found out that he can file a petition, since my first husband was a U.S. citizen, when we found out that he can file a petition from here in the U.S., so we filed our petition here in the U.S. because we've been going to U.S. Embassy in Manila, and it's like we end up dead end. Whenever we go to U.S. Embassy in Manila, we end up dead end. Nothing happens. So when we found out that he can do that, he can file his petition from here in the U.S. Oh, I'm telling you, we didn't waste time. We did not waste time. I did the papers, and he signed up. He signed the papers. I did all the papers. I filed. I filled the forms and all that, and all he did was sign up, and we send it. And I didn't realize that the form we were using was an outdated form. So the visa center sent it back and says that you have the wrong form. You have the wrong form. Oh my gosh, you wrong form. So I wasted no time. Get the right form, and the following day I send it. And then let's say that was October, November, December, January, February. 4 months later, I received a notice that they approved my visa. That was February or March 2020. Oh, I got it. I have it. Well, during those times, remember the pandemic that happened? Remember the pandemic? There was already that, katong nagsugod-sugod na gani, no? Katong nagsugod-sugod na gani ang kuan, nagsugod-sugod na gani ang pandemic, diba? During those times, pandemic were just, starting to come into view. Pandemic. Nag-pandemic na sila. And so since all that's happening, there was social distancing. You remember all that? There was social distancing and all that. And since we have to wait, because my petition was I have to do it over again kind of petition. I have to start from the beginning kind of my petition. So I have to wait for the next schedule or next appointment from the US Embassy for my interview, appointment for my interview and medical examinations and all that. So yeah, have to wait for medical examination, my appointment, my interview at the US Embassy. So we have to wait all that when they're gonna schedule me. When they're gonna schedule me. When they're going to schedule me. And while we're waiting for that, while we're waiting for the US Embassy to send us the notice for the interview and the medical examinations and all that, while we were waiting for that, well, July, pagabot sa July, when month of July arrived, my husband is deteriorating. My husband's condition is deteriorating. He died of prostate cancer. He died of that. So July 2020, he died. July 2020, he died. And after he died, after we buried him, and when we sa di amo siyang kuan bitaw wa man gyud di man gyud na nimo ilubong, no, imo pa man gyud nang kuan ihaya, right? you let it, stay there at the funeral homes before you, actually schedule a burial. So while we were waiting for the schedule for the burial, we have only 3 flowers. Hold on a second. Yes?
I noticed you when I drove in.
Okay.
So, are you coming inside? Do you have a car?
No, I'm just sitting here for now.
Do you have a car here?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Well, really, we really don't want people just sit out
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
But, you got plenty of places
Yeah.
to go park on Pass Road.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm here parking in the business establishment. It's like what is this? Okay, it's a brake and automotive parking lot. Ning park ko diri ka jut sa brake and automotive parking lot. But anyway, let's drive. Find a spot here somewhere. Yeah. When that happened, when my husband was in a funeral state, amo pa siyang gihaya. I tell you, we only have 2 flowers, 2 or 3 flowers. When you have friends, you said when you have friends who died, of course, you send flowers. But when he died, when my husband died, let's stay here. I think this is out of business. When my husband died, sa gihaya pa namo siya bitaw, we only have 2 flowers. 2 or 3 flowers. Because during that time, you cannot have a gathering anymore. They started that. Nagsugod na bitaw sila nga dili magtapok-tapok bitaw. Wala na itapok-tapok ba? Because of the pandemic, no one will allow you to have that group of people bitaw. Remember, they will not allow you to have that group of people because of the pandemic. So during that time when my husband still at the funeral home, there was only me and my family and two people he knew, and there was only 2. Well, I didn't told anyone about he died. Because some of his friends, they're far away. They are far away. So they're far away and I could not reach them to tell them that, hey, Mr. Dan Quilty is dead. And the fact that they do not allowed, they started not to allow people to have groups or to gather together, then I thought, well, if it's like this, then it's better not to tell his friends, because after all, we cannot gather together for anything. So why? That's my decision. That's what I decided. But there was 2 friends we know who came to see and help us of the few things. And after 5 days, I think, 5 days. After 5 days, we bury him. After we bury him, bam! Lockdowns because of pandemic. I'm telling you. After we bury my husband, then lockdowns. A series of lockdowns. Lockdown na dayon. Diba? Almost 2 years sige lockdown when he died. So, when he died, I tried to contact people about his social security, his pension. His pension, social security. But there was no reply. There was no reply. And I just thought to myself, well, I'm about to go back to US. So, and it's pandemic, and I can go to Manila because I don't have money to go to Manila to process the papers. So I can get the if I have any benefits at all from his social security. I don't have money to go to Manila, to US Embassy to process all that. I didn't have that money. And then I thought, I'm about to go back to US, so instead of processing whatever benefits I get from him, from his social security, then I'll just do it in the US when I get there, all at once, instead of processing it here. And the fact that it was also pandemic, they have that series of lockdowns because of pandemic. And well, how can I travel? How can I go? And I don't have money. And how can I go? So I didn't do that. And there was also the lockdown, so that was like kind of impossible to do. And that didn't happen. So I said, well, I'll just process this in the Philippines when I get to US. And so when I arrived here in the US, I didn't know what to do. It's like my mind went blank. All that. I didn't know what to do. I don't know what form to use. It's like my mind went blank to that. It's like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what. It's like I said, it's like my mind went blank to that. And then when I remember it, and whenever I remember it, then I'll go ahead, I'll go to it and do it. Until I met my first husband, until I met my next husband, my husband now, until I met him. My cousin, her husband, is my friend's husband. And they introduced us together. But before all that, I have no any idea about him. Nothing. My husband now, my present husband, I have no any idea about him. Not a bit. Nothing. So if they know about me and all that, I don't know. All I can say, I don't know. I have no idea. because I have no idea. That's the only time that I met him. That's the only time that I knew him and know him. That's it. And 6 months later, we got married. 6 months later, we got married. Nagminyodahan mi. Usiya pa. We're old. We're too old people. We're too old people to wait. Why not we get on it and be done with it? So 6 months later, we got married. And yeah, that's what had happened. I did not come here in the US to ask for help, because I don't even know what my problem is. If I have any problem, I don't even know what my problem. And if I have to ask for the problem, I don't even know what to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what to ask for help for that problem. I don't even know what my problem. If there are people out there who knows my problem, well, I guess they know better. They know better my problem than me of my problem, because I don't know. And yeah, we don't have the same problem. Your problem is different than mine, and my problem is different than yours. And yeah, some of my family and people I know keep asking me when you come back here in the Philippines, when do you want to come back here in the Philippines, or kano sama ka mo balik diri? I always, when are you coming back here in the Philippines? When are you coming back here in the Philippines? And I always tell them, I don't know yet, but we're planning to visit, of course. I mean, I still have my family, like my mom and my sisters and my nephews, So, of course, I still have to visit. But I can tell them that, I don't know, I have nothing to hurry to go back. I have nothing to hurry to go back, because I'm not running away from something in the Philippines. Because I didn't have a boyfriend in the Philippines either. Okay? I don't have any man in the Philippines. I think there is more to this. Okay? And I'm like, Revelation 6, I think there's more to this. This is not it. When you read the whole chapter of Revelation 6, I said to myself, I said inside, this is not it yet. I'm sure there's more of this. This is just the beginning of what's gonna happen. But I think this is more to this Revelation 6. That's what I asked to myself. So there's more to this. What's that gonna be? That's what I asked. I will never forget that. So that's what I asked. There's more to this Revelation 6. I know it's not yet it. There's more to this. So that's what I did. And you know what happened? Something popped up on my mind. Okay? Something popped up on my mind. You know what it is? Zodiac. That popped up on my mind. Zodiac. Just that word. Okay? Just that word. Zodiac. It popped up on my mind. And when that popped up on my mind, I'm like, really? Who in the world is preaching Zodiac? Who in the world is teaching Zodiac? Yeah. That's what I asked. That just popped up on my mind. The word Zodiac. And I'm like, Zodiac. Who in the world is preaching Zodiac? And who in the world is teaching Zodiac? And I'm like, well, you know what? Let's see what we will find in the Zodiac. Why it popped up on my mind. Why it impressed on me. Just that word. Just the word Zodiac. Why it impressed on my mind. Why it popped up on my mind. And why all that. So that's what I did. You know what? Let me study this. Let's see what we find. Let's see what we will find. Let's see what we will come up, or we'll see. So that's what I did. I check it on the internet. Who is preaching and who is teaching Zodiac and all that. I did all that. I researched what is the Zodiac about, because I never heard of Zodiac. Isn't that bad? So pity. But anyway, I didn't know about Zodiac. I never heard of Zodiac before. I don't even know astrology before all that. Before all these 12 signs of the Zodiac I'm teaching to you. I don't know any of that. I must have, like aware. You know what I'm saying? Like aware of these things. But I don't have any knowledge of what it is. Neither I have an interest to find out what it is either. You know what I mean? I'm aware about astrology and Zodiac, but then I don't have any knowledge of what it is. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. And so I searched on the Zodiac what is the Zodiac about, and what is this and what is that. Okay. This is what it is. I'm like, who is teaching about this? Zodiac astrology is even like a pseudoscience. It's a false, it's a false teaching. And who would believe back here to save you black people from your skin, from your skin color. No. What makes you think I'm here to? I mean, are you really? Are you sure? Are you serious? Isn't that a problem? And don't worry, you're not the only one who has the problem. That kind of problem, that racism problem, has been going on before there was America. Okay? The racist problem been happening in this world before there was America, before there was the U.S. government. Okay? Before there was the U.S. government, before the America, the United States of America formed. This racism thing, this problem we have has been doing the same thing here. Whatever this is. That's all I can say. And yeah, I'm glad I did this. I don't know. And yeah, some of my family and some friend God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it. God does it so that people will fear Him. Whatever is has already been. And this is my favorite. And what will be has been before. And God will call the past to account. Okay, I will go ahead and read again verse 15. Whatever is has already been, and what will be has been before, and God will call the past to account. So, lagi ng maningil no, lagi ng paninglanay no. Unsa pa nakagidugayon, doesn't matter how past before it is, how many years it's been, God will call the past to account. It's really that. Verse 16. And I saw something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I said to myself, God will bring unto judgment both the righteous and the wicked. For there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. I also said to myself, as for humans, God tests them so that they may see that they are like the animals. Surely the fate of human beings is like that of the animals. The same fate awaits them both. As one dies, so dies the other. All have the same